Hello, this is a review about the Kyocera Gratina2 mobile phone. You might get this mobile phone if you make a contract with AU in Japan. And to make everything short, let me first say that I would never ever recommend this mobile phone. And if you have a chance to only get this mobile phone with a contract, do something else, don't take it, it's totally unusable. So let's get into more detail for this. I am about 165 centimeters tall, which means that my hand has also a specific size related to my body. So if we compare these two mobile phones, this one is from Docomo, my first mobile phone, and this one is the Gratina, then we can see if we closely compare these that this one is much more stretched up and this one is much more compressed. The consequence is that, for example, if you're typing with this one, you type your characters and you have to always tell them, okay, I want to have this kanji, or I want to go down, right, left, to navigate through the kanjis or the predictions. Of course, you have the same over here, so you do all that stuff and then you move up. But the thumb has to go a large way up. When I saw this mobile phone in the shop, I thought, well, that's no problem, but as I'm typing for real now, that's really annoying. So this is just one point. Let's go forward. This mobile phone is pretty new, but it already looks like awful. I don't know how good it is to see in here. I scratched it on purpose. The reason is because it's, I don't know how to call it, very, very polished. So as you can see here, the problem is when it's polished, it really much slips out of the hand. And not only that, but also you can hardly open it with one hand because it's so polished. After I scratched it, it's at least possible to open it with one hand, but if it's not, then it's almost impossible. Compared to my old Docomo phone, which is pretty easy to open with only one hand. What else can you do? You have the manner mode over here, so you can take it, turn it off or on, and you have no option to make the light on here. You first have to open the phone, push a button, and then you have the light. But you cannot do it while the mobile phone is closed. Okay, what else should you know? This has a hands-free option. The problem is if you close it, then the call is over. So don't close it while you have free hands. Now let's get a little bit more into detail, which is really annoying. This is an example screen for if you received an email. You cannot delete this thing actually. You can just navigate through it and remove the cursor, but you cannot delete this thing. Even though you have the sign over here, you cannot delete this thing. And you have these strange smileys that I don't know what they are for, and they also really much annoy me. Okay, so why do they annoy me? If you look at the list of your emails, then you see these things moving around all the time, and you cannot turn them off. Here you also see another thing that is really annoying. You cannot change the size of the letters in here. What you can change is actually just a little bit of a view, but this won't do so much. Also, if I open a mail and think, oh wait, I want to keep it as new. Of course, no, that's not possible. What you have to do instead, or what you can do instead, is you create a new folder where you put all the emails that you still have to work through. Same problem also for the menu. You cannot change the menu size, so you could not get a better overview. If you're in the same situation as me and you can read Japanese but your mobile phone is in English, then you will always have to change the characters to Japanese first before you type in Japanese, because if you put it in English mode, then you always have the English input at first. You cannot make a different default decision. If you want to change the input, you have to go to this menu, which is the most top button, which is also the same problem that I talked about before. So if you want to work down here, you first have to stretch out for the most top button. And this is what you have to do if you want to change between Japanese, English input, and numbers. The input method also is not that consistent. So for example, you have this button over here which creates a comma, and also if you have a te, it creates a de, which is okay. But if you, for example, have a te and then you go to the next character, so you don't want de, and then you want to have a comma, then it's not possible. You will have the circle or the strokes. What you would have to do instead is using another button, the 0, and type it sometimes. Maybe this is understandable because we have a T over there, but even if you're after the comma and you're typing the same, then you also get the strokes or the circle. So what the hell is this? What you of course can do is you just accept that input and then write a comma. But then you also have the problem again that you have to accept the input here on this button and then reach down to the comma and then go on, or first accept that comma and then go on. So you're like typing like this, which is pretty crazy. Another thing is that if you get a mail and you think like, oh, I want to call the person that I got the mail from, then you might think, oh well, I just push this button to call him, and or I first select the name and then I push the button to call him because I already entered the phone number for him. But when I push this button, actually, it just makes everything bigger. And why is this thing moving over here? I don't need it. It's just annoying. Yeah, that's basically it. Like I said, I would definitely not recommend it. Why? Because of the input problems. This is my basic problem because I'm writing mail so much. Because you're writing like this and this is not funny. And also the overview over the mails is not that nice. So if you have a chance to get another mobile phone, get another mobile phone, and maybe you should not use one from Kyocera,